Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am JP Dimri, retired professor of Russian from the Center of Russian Studies, English and Foreign Languages, University Hyderabad, Indian Grammatical Linguistics, Pan Linguistics, Morphophonemics 3, the visarya sandhi. In previous lectures, we have discussed the main types of ach sandhi and hal sandhi. Now here we shall discuss the main types of visarga sandhi. A dictionary of Sanskrit grammar defines visarga sandhi as aspiration, leaving of the breath, generally at the completion of the utterance of a word when there is a pause. Devani Prakashika defines visarga as, I quote, the visarga is an aspiration of a preceding vowel and is pronounced almost like an echo, as an ha followed by the short form of the preceding vowel. After a long samyukta vowel, the echo vowel will be the short form of a simple vowel corresponding in point of articulation to the samyukta vowel. Thus, for I, the echo will be E, while for au, the echo will be U. For example, Devaha pronounced as Devah, Devah, Devah pronounced as Devah, Devah pronounced as Devah, Munih pronounced as Munih, Dhi pronounced as Dhi, Vishnu pronounced as Vishnu, Muneh pronounced as Muneh, Devai pronounced as Devai. The echo sounds are not syllabic. They are not taken into account while counting the number of syllables in the word. Unquote. Iminov and Van Newton state that visarga is the form in which saw and raw appear in absolute final position. Sanskrit Sandhi in exercises. Note another term visarjaniya is also used in the sense of visarga. Let us now examine the main types of visarga sandhi. In transliteration, letter ha with a dot under it denotes the visarga. Dental saw is the substitute for visarga. Dental saw is the substitute for visarga. Examples: Vishnu plus trata, Chhatra plus tishtati. Here Sutra Visarjaniyasya Saha E8334 applies. The Sutra states, in place of Visarga, Sa is the substitute before Khar, all voiceless consonants. By applying this rule, we get the expression Vishnu plus Trata, Vishnu's Trata, Vishnu the protector. Chhatra plus Tishtati, Chhatras Tishtati. Student sits. Visarga does not change into Sa before a Khar, all voiceless consonant, when it means Khar is followed by Shar sibilants. Examples: Purusha Kshiram Pivati. Example: Purusha Kshiram Pivati. Here Sutra Sar Pare Visarjaniya 8335 applies. The Sutra states that in place of Visarga, Visarga is the substitute before Khar, occurring before Shar. This rule blocks the application of 8334 and we get the sequence of Purusha plus Kshiram Pivati, Purusha Kshiram Pivati. The man drinks milk. Visarga is optionally substitute for Visarga. Examples: Harihi Shaite, Vriksha Shaite. Here Sutra Sharihi 8336 applies. The Sutra states in place of Visarga, optionally Visarga is substituted before Shar, sibilants, before Shar. By applying this rule, we get expressions Hari Shete, and Harish Shete, Hari sleeps. Vriksha Shete, Vriksha Shete, the tree sleeps. The rule 8336 applies optionally. So in Harihi Shete, Briksha Shete, Visarga Ha is replaced by the rule 8334, Haris Shete, Briksha Shete. Now applies the rule 8440, which replaces dental Sa by palatal Sa. So we get the expression Harish Shete, Briksha Shete. Before ka, kha and pa, pha, the visarga is substituted by jivha muliya and upatmaniya, respectively. Jivha muliya means a phonetic element produced at the root of the tongue. Upatmaniya denotes a phonetic element substituted for a visarga followed by pa and pa. In other words, when the visarga is followed by pa and pa, its pa pronunciation is colored with labial feature. Jivha Muli and Padmani are also called half visarga. The symbols, special symbols before ka, kha, and pa, pa denote jivha symbol. The special symbol before ka, kha, and pa, pa denotes the jivha miliya and upadmaniya. Examples: Naraha karoti, narah pachati. Here Sutra Kuppo Kapaucha 8337 applies. The sutra states in place of visarga, jivha muli and padmani are substituted before ka, kha and pa, pha, respectively, velar and labial stops, and also visarga in place of visarga. By applying the present rule, we get narah karoti, narah karoti, narah karoti, the man does. Narah pachati, the man cooks. Replacement of dental saw, nominative singular case affix by ru, and then replacement of ru by u. Examples. Shivas archa. Here saw, nominative singular case affix of Shivas, is replaced by ru by the sutra Sasajusho Ruhu 8266. This sutra states, in place of saw word final and of the word sajush, ru is the substitute. Now we get the sequence Shiva ru archaha. Shiva ru archaha. Now apply the sutra Ato rora plutad aplute 6113. This sutra states in place of ru, short vowel u is substituted when ru is preceded and followed by a non-prolated apluta short vowel a. So ru is replaced by u. Now we get sequence Shiva plus u plus archaha. Now Guna rule 6187 applies, and single substitute for a and u is o, and we get the expression Shivo archaha. Now applies the rule 61109, which orders the single substitute o for o of Shiva, for o of Shivo and o of archaha. Now we get the expression Shivo archaha, Shiva to be worshipped. Replacement of ru of saw, nominative singular, by u before has, before all voiced consonants, has. Example, Shivo Vandyaha, Shiva to be worshipped. Examples, Shivo Vandyaha, Shiva to be worshipped for has. Chatro Hasati, student laughs. Here in Shivas plus Bandyaha, Chatras plus Hasati, so nominative singular case affix is replaced by ru by the rule 8266. Now we get the sequence Shiva ru plus Vandyaha, Chatra ru plus Hasati. Now applies the rule Hasicha 611114. This sutra states the substitute short vowel u also replaces ru when it is preceded by a non-prolated apluta short vowel a before hash, before a voiced consonant. Now we get the sequence Shivau plus Vandyaha, Chatru plus Hasati. Now Guna rule 687 applies and we get the expression Shivo Bandhya Chatro Hasati. Your substitute before ru of sa and optionally deletion of your examples. Example, Deva plus Iha, Deva Iha, God's hair. Here Sutra, Bho Bhago Agho Apurvasya Yoshi, 8317 applies. The Sutra states the substitute of your replaces ru, co-occurring with bhos and interjection, bhagos illustrious, aghos sinner, or a before ash, before voice sounds. Devas plus iha, here saw nominative singular is replaced by ru by 8 to 66. Deva ru plus iha. Now apply the Sutra 8317 and replaces ru by ya. So we get the sequence Devaya plus iha. Now applying the rule 8319 which optionally deletes ya. Now we get the expression Deva iha, Deva plus iha, Deva and Deva iha and Deva iha. In case of expressions Bho Deva, O God, O gods, Bhago Namaste, O adoration to you, and Agho Yahi, O come. First saw of Bhos, Bhagos, and Aghos is replaced by Ru by rule 8 to 66. And Ru is then replaced by Ya by the rule 8 317. Bho Ru plus Deva, Bhago Ru Namaste, Agho Ru Yahi. Bhoy Deva, Bhagoy Namaste, Aghoy Yahi. Now apply the sutra Hali Sarvesham. Hali Sarvesham 8322. This sutra states lopa, disappearance is the substitute in place ya of bhoya, bhagoya and aghoya before hal. According to all grammarians, this rule orders obligatory deletion of ya. So by applying this rule, we get the expressions Bho Deva, Bhago Namaste and Agho Yahi. Disappearance of ra before ra and lengthening of the preceding simple vowel. Examples: Haris Ramya, Sambhus Rajate. Here saw nominative similar case ending is replaced by ru by rule 8266. Harir Hari Ru plus Ramya, Sambhu Ru plus Rajate. U of Ru is dropped by rules 132, 139 and 1160. Now we get the sequence Harir plus Rajate, Sambhur plus Rajate. Now apply the sutra Ru-Ri 8314. This sutra states there is elision of Ra when Ra follows. So by the force of this rule, Ra of Harir and Sambhur is dropped. Now apply the sutra Dhrilope Purvasya Dirghona 63111. The sutra states a subsequent long vowel replaces a vowel represented by an one, a, e, u before the disappearance of dha and ra when immediately preceding it. So by applying this rule we get Hari Ramya, Hari is beautiful, Sambhu Rajate, Shiva is resplendent. Disappearance of sa or pronounced sas, he, that one, and eshaha, this one, before hal, before any consonant. Examples: Eshaha Vishnu, sas Sambhu. Here sutra etat tadoh slopo kone samase hali 81132 applies. The sutra states su of the pronouns etat, this, and tad, that, is dropped provided they are without the augment ka before hal, but not if they are not a not if they are not a compound with the particle ne. but not if they are not a compound with the particle name. So by the force of this rule, saw is dropped and we get the expression Esha Vishnu, this Vishnu, such Sambhu, that Sambhu. We get the expressions Esha Vishnu, this Vishnu, such Sambhu, that Sambhu. Further, Su, nominative singular case affix of sus is dropped. If by dropping of Su, the verse can be completed. Example, sus plus U plus Esha plus Dasarathi Ramaha. Here the sutra Sochilope Ched Pad Purnam 61134 applies. The sutra states, let there be elision of the Su of sus even when a vowel follows. If by the elision alone the verse be completed. So by applying this rule we get the sequence Sa Esha plus Dasarathi Ramaha. Here single vriddhi substitute for O of Sa and A of As is I. So we get the expression Shesha Dasarathi Ramaha, that Rama, son of Dasratha. We have tried to explain the main types of visarga sandhi. The visarga sandhi could be categorized into two. One, the treatment of visarga before khar, before voiceless consonants, and two, before ash, before voiced sounds. A, before khar following four processes can be identified. 1. No change, example Rama Karoti. 2. Visarga is replaced by Jivha Muliya before Ka and Ka, example Rama Karoti. 3rd. Visarga is replaced by Upadmaniya before Pa and Pa, example Rama Pachati. 4th. Visarga is replaced by Sa dental, Sa palatal and Sa cerebral, retroflex before dental, palatal and cerebral respectively. Examples Ramah tatha Ramas tatha, Ramah chalati Ramas chalati, Ramah tikate Ramas tikate, Ramah sarati Ramas sarati or Ramah sarati, Ramah shete Ramas shete or Ramah shete, Ramah shastah Ramah shastha or Ramah shastah. B. Before us, before any voice sound, following types can be identified. 1. Visarga after each, all vowels except O. Before us changes into Ra. Examples Harihi atra, Hariratra. Ramai atra, Ramai ratra. 2. Visarga after A before us is dropped and there is no further sandhi. Examples Deva atra, Deva atra, Deva atra. Okay. Visarga after O before A disappears. Example Ramaha agachati, Rama agachati. 4th. Visarga after O and before O and Hash is replaced by Hu. Here further sandhi occurs. Example Ramaha atra, Ram plus U plus atra, Ramotra. Rama hasati, Ram plus U plus hasati, Ramo hasati. See exceptions. Visarga after pronounced Sa, Tad and Esha, Etad is dropped provided it is not followed by O. Example Sa karoti, Esha sarati, Esha sarati. D. Ra plus Ra, the first Ra disappears and the preceding vowel is lengthened. Example Punar ramate, Punar ramate, Harir ramya, Hari ramya. Now students are advised to go through the small booklet Sanskrit Sandhi and exercises by Iminoy and Van Newton. Visarga Sandhi we have discussed, examined the main types of Sandhi, given examples and application of the proper sutras which are applied to these examples. Thank you very much.